Well, I only got two words for you. That sucked. SummerSlam 2006 actually had a lot of potential of being one of the greatest SummerSlams out there. That was the reunited DX. ECW came back, even though it was WWE ECW, where literally it was Big Show, the WWE guy, bearing all the ECW guys, and then his top contenders were other WWE guys. It got so bad that like people were yelling to change the channel. Y'all remember Big Show and Batista? Yeah, I remember how awful that was. Well, this show was just very bad, honestly. There was like maybe one or two. Honestly, the stories weren't that bad. It was just like no good matches came out of this. Two come to mind. The first one and the last one, believe it or not. Everything else in the middle was just like if you were entertained, you were entertained. And then there was this one match that I think it's a little too overrated, but we'll get to it. Let's just kick off talking about um, Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero. Basically, this is Chavo Guerrero coming out of retirement, proving that he is in fact a great Guerrero. You know, how is it that Rey Mysterio got all the attention when Eddie's passing? He's the one that got the world title. So it's a simple and yet a story that makes sense. They never really pushed Chavo to his true potential. I'm not saying he should have been a world champion, but I think he could have been an upper mid card champion or one of the top key players. Obviously, he joins La Familia with Edge years later, but here, he was a solid single star, and he proved that Ray and Chavo obviously have great chemistry. They were part of the SmackDown Six, even though Chavo's the forgotten sixth member sometimes. And yeah, I was thoroughly enjoyed by this match. And then Chavo getting the victory at a big four. This is big for Chavo, and it helped further push Chavo down the road. Big Show versus Sabu for the ECW Championship. Obviously, because it's the ECW Championship, there's no rules. But all this match was just Sabu throwing stuff at Big Show, and then Big Show not selling it. They basically booked Big Show like the Giant from WCW, which was like, where was this during 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, and like I don't get it. Like they pick and choose how they push the Big Show, and this was like one of those times where it's like too little, too late, and he buried Sabu. It should have really been RVD losing the belt here to another top ECW guy. There was a lot of guys that they never even signed or considered signing. Mike Awesome, I know he had mental health issues. He actually committed suicide the following year, which was insane. Um, there was Raven, who left TNA in 2005 but didn't come back in 2006. So there was a lot of guys that they could have signed. The Mexicals were on SmackDown, so they just dropped the ball with ECW as a whole, and it just never was what it once was, unfortunately. And this was further proof of it. I know they were mad at RVD for the weeds scandal. And then they also buried Sabu, who was also part of the weed scandal. I'm like, pick and choose how you book these people. Like, I don't know. It was just weird, and this was just a bad match. Another horrible match. Hulk Hogan versus Randy Orton, Legend versus Legend Killer. I think it makes sense for Randy Orton to eventually fight Hulk Hogan, but Randy should have gone over. He technically went over, but then his feet was under the rope. Hulk Hogan's ego he just couldn't let it slide. Because of it, Hulk Hogan's undefeated at SummerSlam. So I was like, okay, he won't put over Shawn Michaels, maybe Randy Orton. He's a younger guy, and no, he just refuses to, and it took me out of the match, and it made me really, really hate Hulk Hogan. I know the guy has since passed, but like, dude, this guy's ego was through the roof. And this was further proof of it. Then we get to the most overrated match of the night, and that is the I Quit match between Ric Flair and Mick Foley. Yes, it was bloody. Yes, it was gory, but for the most part, they were really slow. I get it, Ric Flair's older. I get it, Mick Foley's older, but then the ending was just too much. It was just like, oh, he quits. No, he doesn't. Melina pulls the freaking microphone, and she goes, "Oh, Mick Foley quits," and Ric Flair's like, "No, he better say it." And it was just so annoying. Um, if they were gonna do this, they should have just made it a last man standing match, because if you make it an I Quit match, you kind of limit them doing that. Like it's annoying, honestly. The whole you want to quit, you want to quit. I like I Quit matches when they work. Mankind and The Rock is one, but Here it just kept pausing, and then to top it off, Mick Foley never truly said I quit. At least with Rock and Mankind at Royal Rumble '99, at least it was part of the story that they used a recording of Mankind saying I quit. So here it was just embarrassing. King Booker versus Batista. And man, for a lot of people that compliment Batista for his SummerSlam record, two of those victories, Batista won by DQ, so he never won the world title. So it happened here, and it's gonna happen at SummerSlam 2007. I can't believe it. They did the same finish twice, and I heard that Booker T and Batista didn't like each other, and you can tell because the chemistry just wasn't there. I would have saved Batista. I would have had him go like on this underdog run. Maybe he should have been the one to fight Randy Orton. I mean that was supposed to be the Mania 22 match anyways. They could have done Randy never leaves SmackDown, Batista comes back, Batista Randy, loser leaves SmackDown, Randy goes to Raw, and then Batista's on his way to um the world title. Who does Booker T fight? I don't know. Maybe The Undertaker, who wasn't even on the show. They dropped the ball here. This was just bad, and I just if they're gonna do King Booker versus Batista, just have Batista win. But I get it; they want to keep King Booker on top. This just wasn't it. I hate when they do these type of finishes. They're really stupid, and this was further proof of it. DX versus Vince and Shane McMahon. Before the match started, they throw in a bunch of guys, including the ECW champion Big Show. They have them all beat up DX, but then they fail to do so. They're supposed to be tired, but then the McMahons still lose. DX gets the victory. They get the standing ovation. They do have a better Hell in a Cell match when it's Big Show and the McMahons versus DX. They have more stuff to do, and this wasn't supposed to be a good match. This was supposed to be just like, oh, how are DX gonna beat the McMahons? And I don't know. They should have wrapped up the storyline here. That Hell in a Cell match wasn't all that great, anyways. They could have like had DX for the World Tag Team titles, moving on something else. But at least we could say DX came back. I feel like each version of DX gets worse as time goes on. Like they were awesome in the '90s. They were so in the 2000s. I love that segment of them mocking the McMahons where Triple H is going stab it, and Shawn Michaels running like Shane. But at this point it was kind of hard to take DX serious because they were supposed to be people against the authority. Yet we all knew that Triple H was married to Stephanie, so it didn't mean as much for DX. But I still enjoyed DX wrestling. But then the main event and my personal match of the night, John Cena versus Edge for the WWE Championship, where Edge will lose the belt if he gets DQ'd, which is something they should have done with Booker T, if I'm being honest. But um, Edge and John Cena just have good chemistry. This was further proof of it. And a lot of people say, oh, this is one of their weaker matches. And you can say that. You can honestly say that. But I'm just like, dude, I'd rather have this type of wrestling than some of the stuff we get today with all these flips where, like, people are not really selling. Here this is a wrestling match. This is a proper wrestling match. Yes, you have your shenanigans with Lita. You have Edge cheating and not winning fair and square, but hey, at least we could say Edge beat John Cena in his hometown, and then John Cena the following pay-per-view beats Edge on Toronto, Edge's hometown. So it was really cool and how poetic that all went down. And Edge is probably the best John Cena rival. It's either him, Randy, or Punk. But yeah, I really enjoyed this match. The show itself was just not that great. It is highly entertaining, but like there's a lot of better stuff that they could have done with everybody here. And then Hulk Hogan just further burying Randy Orton pissed me off. ECW pissed me off, and then the world title match pissed me off. I'm giving it a D, and it just highly just has to go with the fact that the only thing that's worth watching is the main event and the opening match for me. That's just my personal take on it. On to 2007. Oof, that one's bad. Anyways, take care, everybody.